Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today we continue our ongoing series building decks around the legendary creatures from the new Final Fantasy set. Leading today's deck is Hermes, Overseer of Elpis. Also, and I know it's annoying to keep hearing this, but statistically if I don't ask you to like and subscribe, the video gets fewer subscribers. Hermes, Overseer of Elpis is a 4-mana 2/4 legendary Elder Wizard. Whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we create a 1/1 blue bird creature token with flying and vigilance. Additionally, whenever we attack with one or more birds, we scry 2. Okay, so Hermes is similar to Talrand's Sky Summoner. But unlike Talrand, when we cast a mana rock, we still make a bird. So we'll want as few creature spells in the deck as possible, but some will help the deck run smoother. But I wanted to talk about Hermes for a little bit and explain my feeling of abject horror when I saw his ability. I'm sure many fans of Final Fantasy XIV felt the same way when we saw him. Spoiler alert, I'm very serious. This is big stuff and like 400 hours into the main story. So skip to the timestamp below if you want to remain spoiler-free. After defeating the Dark God Zodiarch, the final days return. People transform into abominations. Horrors beyond description pepper the land, and life itself seems to unravel. To find out the cause, the Warrior of Light, that's you by the way, travels back to a time before the world was sundered in order to find out why the final days happened in the first place. Eventually, you discover it. Hermes is the leader of Elpis, a sort of combination zoo and research facility built on a floating archipelago. When we first meet him, we also meet his newest creation, Meteion. Meteion has certain bird-like qualities and can even transform into a small bird. She is created as an empath, capable of feeling dynamis, a second form of energy that was recently discovered. Researchers have long known that strong emotions can affect surroundings, but dynamis, the energy of those emotions, is a recent discovery. Meteion can feel emotions in others and pass those emotions on to her sisters. And soon, those sisters will check in. You see, Hermes has been curious about how life on other planets has been going. After all, life on Etheirys is basically a paradise. So Hermes created creatures who could travel the void and find planets in order to feel what other races were feeling. Finally, the report came back. Despair. Death, destruction, magnified and amplified. And now Meteion will join her sisters beyond the edge of the universe and sing the song to end all of existence. But why didn't anyone remember this? Why didn't Emmett Selk and the rest of the Convocation of 14 do anything? Why did they sacrifice half their population in order to summon Zodiarch and stop the final days? You'll have to play the game to find out. Oh, one more thing. I wanted this deck to be ultra budget, especially since I've got some more expensive decks planned in the near future. So the budget for this deck is only $50, at least at the time of recording. That also means this is a Bracket 2 deck. No, seriously, have you noticed how all the game changers are $50 or more? But before we get to our deck list, a quick word from our sponsor, Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is made famous by their boulders, solid, reliable, and affordable deck boxes. Boulders are now available in solid colors, like this beautiful black one seen here. Find out if your local game store carries the new Ultimate Guard solid color boulders, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. In order to build a functional commander deck, you need lots of different pieces, which is why I try to rely on my handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Oh, one more quick announcement before we get started. I'm currently streaming over on Gaming with Danon as well as Twitch. It'll mostly be Final Fantasy XIV, but you're more than welcome to pop in and talk about Commander. Honestly, about half my streams are talking about manga, anime, or Commander. For lands, we've got Scavenger Grounds, Myriad Landscape, and 30 islands. Pretty straightforward. Our mana ramp consists of Soul Ring, Thought Vessel, Blitzball, Wayfarer's Bauble, Arcane Signet, Sky Diamond, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Decanter of Endless Water, Worn Power Stone, Thrawn Dynamo, and Gilded Lotus. Lots of ways to ramp so we can cast our spells. For card advantage, we've got Brainstorm, Archmage Emeritus, Into the Story, Matoya Archon Elder, Torrential Gearhulk, Winged Words, Impulse, Opt, Preordain, Teferi's Ageless Insight, Anticipate, Ponder, Frantic Search, Serum Visions, Archmage of Runes, Curiosity Crafter, Consider, Factor Fiction, Quick Study, Thought Scour, Brain Surge, Chartacourse, Bident of Thassa, and Reconnaissance Mission. Plenty of ways to dig through our deck and keep our hands full. Our interaction and spot removal package consists of Arcane Denial, Hypnotic Sprite, Sublime Epiphany, Wizard's Retort, Rewind, Counterspell, Negate, Pongify, Reality Shift, Rapid Hybridization, Snap, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Unsummon, Boomerang, Disdainful Stroke, Commit Memory, Mana Leak, Resculpt, Mystic Confluence, Wash Away, and Imprisoned in the Moon. Lots of ways to keep our opponents in line. For board wipes, we've got Aetherize, Perplexing Test, and Washout. Simple and straightforward. The core of our deck consists of Talran Sky Summoner, Murmuring Mystic, Alondra Sky Dreamer, and Docent of Perfection. Wanted a few extra ways to create token creatures. Supporting our plan, we've got Propaganda, Favorable Winds, and Swiftfoot Boots. Protecting ourselves and our commander is important, and having bigger tokens is always nice. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 44 mana sources split between 32 lands and 12 pieces of ramp. Very light, I know, but it's okay because we also have 25 pieces of card advantage counting our commander. Remember, for every 2 cantrips in your deck, you can cut a land. 21 pieces of interaction. 3 board wipes. 2 pieces of Graveyard Hate in Scavenger Grounds and Commit Memory. 1 Sudden I Win card in Perplexing Test. Having the ability to bounce all the non-token creatures means we can swing out with our army of tokens and win the game. Or at least make one of our opponents have a very bad day. Now, we are running a lot of counterspells in this deck, and I'm sure some people are upset by that. Counterspells in Commander aren't meant to stop you from casting every single spell, just the spells that hurt us directly. A board wipe when we only have our commander and a couple of birds on the battlefield? That's fine. A Whip Tongue Hydra when we have an army of drakes and birds? No, that's getting counterspelled. Basically, you want to save counterspells for times when your opponents are about to win, or when they're about to stop you from winning. It takes patience and experience to learn this, but eventually you'll get it. Now, I mentioned earlier that cantrips can replace lands, but I feel I should explain that further. You don't want to just toss in cantrips willy-nilly into any deck to make up for a low land count. You want the cantrips to do more than just replace themselves. Like in this deck, they make creatures on top of replacing themselves. That is pretty cool. And in my experience, any deck that draws a ton of cards doesn't want to play a ton of lands. Unless you're in green and can play extra lands per turn, of course. There are always exceptions to the rules. That's what makes Magic fun and interesting. Are you building a Hermes Overseer of Elpis deck? What about a deck led by a different commander from the Final Fantasy set? leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. You can have a video made or just ask for help building or tuning a deck list. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Muffins, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alix, Borgie, Nazwin, Conga, Robert, Pye, Kazaris, Patrick, Tiz, Art, Richard, Sint, Boomy, Osira, Justin, Golden Walker, Ernesto, and Midge. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander Deck videos every weekday, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.